Most adults and children in the UK are eating too much sugar. The average British person consumes 15 teaspoons sugar each day and often without realizing it. The World Health Organization recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of sugar per person per day. Read any food packaging and you will see sugar can be found in almost all products ranging from soups to cereals to fish cakes. Sugar occurs naturally in foods such as fruit and milk, and we don't need to cut down on these types of sugar, but we do need to look at the amount of pure sugar within our diets. The amount of sugar we are consuming by manufactured foods. For some cutting down.
Well, manic depression actually is a kind of old term for bipolar disorder, so they're essentially the same thing. The definition of the illness has slightly changed over time, but essentially it's the same thing. Interestingly, there are some people who suffer from what's now called bipolar disorder who actually prefer the term manic depression because they feel that it describes their disorder better, because it emphasizes the fact that they suffer from depression for some of the time and from mania for other parts of the time. And presumably bipolar means that, if there was a spectrum, they're on polar opposites. That's right, the reason for the term bipolar is to refer to the two poles of the illness. So those are mania on the one hand, which is when your mood is very elated and you're often very creative and excited. Often people don't need to sleep very much when they're in that state, they'll often spend a lot of money, sometimes they can be aggressive when they're in that state. Then at the other end of the scale is depression, and we all think we know what it feels like to be depressed, but people with bipolar disorder or manic depression have a much more severe form of depression than most of us would be.
Welcome to the Business Model Innovation course. My name is 𝗣𝗧𝗘 I am one of the members of the faculty at the Judge Business School of the Uni of Cambridge. My research interest is particularly in the area of innovation, with general emphasis on business model innovation. As many of you know, business model innovation has become very critical on the agenda of many senior management across corporations. Senior management continuously feel these days that business model innovation is the basis upon which competitive advantage can be enhanced. This is similarly reflected in the academic arena. Professors and researchers across the world are focusing on business model innovation and trying to understand what is the basis upon which innovation, particularly business model innovation, can be promoted. What I would like to do here today with you is to share some of that research findings in order to garner and think about what are the issues that firms need to think about in order to promote business model innovation, as well as some of the barriers that firms need to overcome in order to encourage business model innovation.
Has become more visible internationally? Because what Tom and Del were struck by was the huge number of films coming from very different national cinemas, all marketing themselves as biographical films, and many of them very often being immensely popular. If we think about La Môme, that was called La Vie en Rose, here, a French film about a French singer, Edith Piaf, making it all the way to the Oscars, all the way up to kind of the big time in Hollywood, and it's distributed all over the world. What were the conditions that were creating this appetite for biographical narratives, and how these films are now becoming much more visible not only from Hollywood but from all over the world? So we wanted to study this phenomenon and say something about the biopic in contemporary film culture, and that's what the book is about.
The study of history comes out with huge benefits. First, we learn from the past. We may repeat mistakes, but, at least, we have the opportunity to avoid them. Second, history teaches us what questions to ask about the present and will also prepare us for the future. Contrary to some people's view, the study of history is not only the memorization of names, dates, and places of reputed persons, events and places respectively. Historical facts are the thoughtful examination of the forces that have shaped the courses of human life in many ways. We can compare the past situation and then come out to any conclusion about the current events. History teaches us about likely outcomes. Another benefit of the study of history is the broad range of human experience which is covered. This will expand the level of thinking. War and peace are certainly covered topics in the national and international affairs. However, matters of culture, art, literature, and music are also included in the historical study. Human nature is an important part of history. Emotions like passion, greed, and insecurity have influenced the shaping of world affairs. Those who think that the study of history is boring has not really studied history.
Australia is playing an important role in the biggest ever research project for alien life. This is powered with a new high-powered receiver to ramp up observations. This is only one facility named the 𝗣𝗧𝗘 telescope in the Southern Hemisphere taking part in the Breakthrough Listen initiative. The cost of this whole project is estimated to around $100 million, which is among the world's largest scientific research endeavor to find evidence of civilization beyond our planet Earth. The dish is covered in many films and novels but now is playing a crucial role in the research for other intelligent life. This dish was using single pixel receiver technique till now, but now to boost this research, researchers install a new device in it which include a 13-pixel receiver. The new equipment will help to give the dish an unprecedented capacity to survey the galactic plane, which is where the majority of the Milky Way's disc-shaped mass lies. Researchers are taking advantage of the latest technology to help solve one of the life's biggest mysteries.
Lack of full-time jobs with increasing competition all over the world has left the youth of Australia feeling bleak about their future. The new Deloitte 2017 Millennial Survey shows that today young generation of Australia is feeling aggrieved and frustrated from the government policies and the way the country is being run. As per the report, only 8% youth believe that they are financially better than their parents. Millennial are an imprecise term which represents those who came after Generation X, born after 1982 but are currently older than 18. There are more shocking results for a country. Less than 1% Australian youth thinks that they will be more financially secure than their parents. If we compare this with the developed countries, on an average their percentage is about 36%. In developing countries, this is about 71%.
Britain emerged as the world's dominant power after the result of 7 Years' War in 1763. But the powerful country was facing issues to finance the navy and army. To maintain its powerful position and control over the world, necessary steps were taken. The British Parliament attempt to raise the taxes from North American colonists raised fears among the Americans that their rights of self-government were in danger. The number of disputes increases with Parliament over taxation in 1765, which leads to American Revolution. First informal committees of correspondence among the colonies, then to coordinated protest along with the Boston Massacre in 1970 took place. The United Colonies controlled standing army, due to which on the 4th of July 1776, independence was declared by the Second Continental Congress. The American War of Independence continued until 1783, when the Treaty of Paris was signed. Britain recognized the sovereignty of the United States over the territory bounded by the British possessions to the north, Florida to the south, and the Mississippi River to the west.
The innovative curriculum has been designed for those enthusiastic people who want to learn the basic fundamentals of first aid, but do not have the time or have a busy schedule to attend the long and lengthy lectures. Each topic is explained thoroughly, in a systematic manner, giving every detail, so that even people from background without any medical knowledge can understand it properly. This methodical approach has made the course popular in this field and generated hundreds of satisfied first aid training participants. At the end of each module of first aid training, there is a brief quiz, which assesses your learning capability and helps you to understand first aid and CPR better. After you have successfully learned the first aid and CPR topics thoroughly, you will have understanding of each medical emergency situation, and after passing the examination you will be awarded a professional first aid and CPR training completion certificate which can be displayed at your workplace or at your home. All the topics taught and procedures demonstrated in our first aid and CPR training course are as per the strict guidelines and curriculum approved by American Red Cross and WHO.
Studying is an important part of academic success. However, it is sometimes difficult to find the time to study for every subject we need to study for. One way to ensure studying success is to create a solid study schedule. Creating a study schedule, though, can be harder than we think. Not only do you have to prioritize the subjects and courses you need to study for within a certain block of time, but you also have to juggle other responsibilities such as family, friends, and entertainment. Ultimately, though, with a little thought and a little work, you'll have no problem creating a schedule and meeting all of your academic goals. It will be easier to create and manage your schedule if you know what you want to achieve at the end. This will also help you identify areas that you need to focus on. Short-term goals might include passing a test in a week, finishing a paper within 2 weeks, or memorizing a presentation in 10 days. For these projects, break up your tasks by day. Long-term goals might include getting into a certain college, winning a scholarship, or landing a certain job or internship. For these, break down your goals by week and month to make them more manageable. Make sure you know exactly how much time you have for each of these goals. Write the end date down and calculate how many days, weeks, and months are left. For example, what is the deadline for a college application, or when are your exams?